Hey, I am here to tell you a little bit more about the setting in my book. I can't remember. This book is set in Berkeley, California, and I chose this setting. I've always wanted to write a book in Berkeley because my husband and I lived there for 4 years while he was going to optometry school. If you've never been to Berkeley, it is a very eclectic place, and I love it so much. We had such a great experience there. For the first year that we were living there, I was actually working in San Francisco, and my husband was going to school at UC Berkeley. And there are some really interesting transportation things happening there. Not only do you have BART, which is incredible for allowing you to avoid traffic because it goes under the bay and will take you into San Francisco. And around the bay in general, but they also have this thing called casual carpool. And in this book, I bring up some transportation things. It's not necessarily casual carpool, but transportation plays a big part in this book. And I took casual carpool for just about a year. Let me explain it to you. So when you are looking to go into the city or somewhere around the bay, it's usually anywhere that requires tolls. But for me, I was specifically going over the Bay Bridge into San Francisco. And they would have these pickup points, usually at a BART station, where you could go and stand in line and random people would just pull up and you would get into their car and they would drive you across the bridge and drop you off in the city. And when I told my mom about this, she just about lost her mind because she thought that I was going to be murdered for sure. But it actually ran without incident for a really long time. I'm assuming it's probably still running. There were a few rules that you followed. First of all, the motivation for doing this was that if you had more than one person in your car, you didn't have to pay the Bay Bridge toll. So the people that would come to pick up passengers were saving money, and the passengers were saving money on a ride. So it was a win-win, a symbiotic relationship. But as a single woman getting into a vehicle, I would always make sure to get in with one other person. I would never get into a vehicle with two people already in the car. And so that allowed for, just checks and balances to make sure that everyone was safe. It was a fantastic experience. I loved it. And I met some really, really interesting characters. So anyway, that's why transportation plays a role here, because that was coming from a small town in Alberta to Berkeley. It was an eye-opener to see all of these different modes of transportation. And I feel like that defined that place for me in a lot of ways. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing is this restaurant called Skates. And it was right on the bay in Berkeley. And to us, that was the epitome of fancy. We were students and we didn't have very much money. And so I so wish that we could go live in Berkeley or San Francisco again now that we're a little bit more established, because the restaurants there are incredible. The opportunities to use your money are like so many amazing opportunities, and we couldn't really take advantage of it when we were there. But Skates was where we typically went for special occasions because it was really close to our house and the food was really incredible. I remember they had these tenderloins, like steak tenderloins, in this incredible reduction, like balsamic reduction sauce. It was so good. And they obviously had amazing seafood and stuff too. So that's something that you're gonna see in this book as well. I actually haven't checked to see if it is still open now. It was when I wrote the book, but I'm not sure if it's available now. But it was really cool because there was this walk along the bay that you could take right by the restaurant, and the restaurant was actually on the end of a dock. And so it was just beautiful views, wide windows, you could see the sunset, and then you could walk along the Berkeley Bay and Marina, and just a gorgeous area to spend an evening. So that is in the book. It's near the end of the book, so you'll have to read to see that particular setting. And then, of course, we talk about Berkeley campus, which I didn't ever spend much time there, but my husband did. And whenever I went up to meet him, I loved looking at all the different frat houses and sorority houses and just the old culture and history there. We went to a concert. We saw Death Cab for Cutie at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. Such an incredible concert, such an amazing venue. And there are just so many historic buildings like that. And it was kind of my first time ever living in a place that had such rich history. So anyway, that's why I wanted to set this book there. I hope you enjoy it. It is a great mystery suspense novel, college true crime, and it's very character driven. So I hope you like it. Bye.